it is bonkers being a part of a family that is not super dysfunctional, because I bring my dysfunction. So let me give you an example, because this is the perfect example of like wherever you go, there you are. My husband's family, he clearly was raised with unconditional love. Like, I've known that since I met him. It is, and he's very aware of how privileged he is in many areas, but just being born into a family that he felt security and love and all that stuff, right? But me coming into this family, oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, so this little forker right there got me in trouble. So Anthony is on like a men's group weekend together. And so I stayed up at his parents who are out of town at their house. The dog sit and I'm with the dog. And he decided for no reason at all, to destroy a piece of their furniture. Like this, like all that foam. Okay. Now, normally it would be on this thing to sit on, but because he's a dog and he doesn't know any better, and because I just, he's literally never torn up anything. He's not like a dog that does that. Now, the thing is that his dad had predicted this on some level. He didn't want the dog anywhere near that thing. But we underestimated a dog that has literally never torn up anything. That he wouldn't just one day in year 10 of his life be like, oh, I think I'm going to tear something up today and make sure that it's, my in-laws, whatever. But the amount of stress this has caused me, because I mean, Anthony is with his friends, his guy doing men's group stuff. He didn't have a cell phone service at the house, so he had to try to use Wi-Fi, and that connection was weird. So I'm problem solving this whole thing by myself, which is fine. I'm a big girl, but also like I was fighting my trauma responses, okay, big time, because I'm sitting here thinking like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm gonna be in so much trouble. He's gonna be in so much trouble. They're never gonna talk to us again. They're gonna say I told you so. We're gonna be, suffering the consequences of this mistake for the rest of our lives. We're never gonna be able to forget. And Anthony knew his parents would be disappointed, and he's a little stressed about having to tell them. But like, whatever. I already like ordered a new one online. It's going to be delivered. I actually went to another store all the way in Lyon. I went, an hour and a half round trip. Like, I'm just like, well, okay, gotta fix it. Blah. Because, I'm not used to unconditional love. Okay. Like, there are conditions. For example, when I was at an eating disorder treatment center in Florida at the age of 17, I had been there for a month. And I didn't realize that my dad was like one of the reasons why I did that. I'm not blaming him for any addiction, but it did contribute to the fact that he always commented on my body and my weight and every woman's body and whatever. It definitely contributed to that. And some like, stuff, but we won't go into that. And when I called him, because he was the one who the insurance wouldn't pay for a lot of it, so he was footing the bill. Thanks to my mom asking him. So when I called him and asked him if I could stay a little bit longer because I really wasn't ready to come home yet, he was so mad because he'd already bought his tickets. I understand that. But he was so mad that he was going to have to change his travel plans that he told me to go to hell and to find my own forking way home. Now, I was in, I don't know, somewhere in Florida. I don't know where. And my mom had to come and drive 14 hours to get me and 14 hours back. 28 hours to come pick up her daughter because my dad just left me in Florida because I asked him for an extra couple days in a treatment center. And then he never talked to me again till I apologized. He just buries his head in the sand. Like, I had to send him a birthday card, like, hey, happy birthday. And it wasn't even like an apology. It was more like, remember me? And then he like pretended like nothing ever happened. He's never apologized for literally anything he's ever done, ever. But basically, anytime I did anything wrong, I risked him literally never talking to me again. And I didn't realize how much of that I was projecting onto my father-in-law, even though, like, parents are parents, right? But this man, like, I don't think I've ever seen him lose his temper. I've seen him be annoyed before, because like, well, old people are very particular about things, right? But I've never seen him like truly, truly mad, except one time when, him and Anthony got in an argument. And then Anthony's dad called a few days later and like apologized, and it was all good. And during those 3 days, I was like, oh my God, I've just lost my family. I'm never going to. And Anthony's never worried about that. That's what's fascinating is whenever there's any friction at all between him and his parents, which is very rare, I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I finally am in like a loving family and now it's all over and I just lose my mind. And Anthony never feels that. He's never like, he may be nervous, a little nervous about having to like have a hard conversation with them, but he's never worried about anything beyond that. He knows that they're going to love him no matter what. It's fascinating. And so even though I knew this was like a trauma response and I'm projecting, I have been running around this house. I spent 3 hours cleaning up this foam. I'm also ADHD, and my husband calls me Tornado Rainbow for a reason. You can imagine what all that foam, like, look at this, okay? That's my dog, the culprit. All that stuff everywhere. It was everywhere, y'all. Foam goes everywhere. I spent like hours trying to clean this up this morning. Like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Should I hide the evidence? What should I do? I mean, and the thing is that they love me. They have loved me since I've met them. Like a few weeks after I met them, they added me to the Buisson family group chat on WhatsApp. Okay, they have never given me a reason to think that they don't love the crap out of me, even though I can like not even have like deep conversations with them because my French isn't super great, and also they mumble a lot. The country folks, right? They're not used to talking to someone in another language, and yet there's just love. They just love me. They love me because I love their son. They love me because I am who I am. His mom has photos of me like that shows that she gets me more than maybe any adult. Like, not adult, I'm an adult, anyone her, you know what I mean, like anyone in my family, even, or like the people older than me in my family. And yet I'm a mess. Like my throat chakra is all messed up because my whole core was shaking or shook, whatever, because my sense of security disappeared like that. And it's not because of anything they did. It's straight up trauma response. I'm so sick of this. Does this ever go away? Like, even when I'm aware, I was aware. I was like, okay, Melanie, this seems a little, disproportionate reaction. You know what I mean? Like, I know up here it's fine. I know up here they're not going to hate me. We're going to just fix this. It's good. But everything else is like, no, 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 no. Ah! God, I mean, I've been doing EMDR for a year, y'all. IFS therapy. I'm like, I guess the point is that like this healing stuff never ends, because even when I like got really good at finding healthy people, healthy relationships, this stuff doesn't end. In fact, it's just as bad in healthy relationships because I project onto them as if they are still going to respond the way that I'm used to. I don't know, maybe it'll get easier with time, but it's just another example of like getting out of unhealthy relationships is just the beginning. And then not continuing to seek out relationships that just, perpetuate the cycle of violence. That's like the next step. And then being able to find healthy relationships is the next step, right? But then the next step, which is just as hard, if not harder, is to not treat everyone in your life as if they are going to hurt you the way those core people did, right? And to not project onto them. I mean, thank God I have some self restraint and I'm not like blowing up anyone's phone with my crazy. But getting into healthy relationships, even with a partner and even with your in-laws, your friends, like whatever, this stuff it doesn't just disappear. It just is a different level of different way of having to manage it. None of this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for you. Huh? Huh? Yeah, you started it. Okay, but I love you as I do. Does it get easier, y'all? Just please tell me. Please tell me it gets easier.